Sit with me for a moment. Make yourself comfortable. Today, I want to talk about something many people only understand after many years have passed. There are things we carry for too long: old anger, other people's opinions, responsibilities that are no longer ours, fear about the future, money we keep saving but never enjoy. And when we are young, some of these things feel necessary. We believe they are part of being strong, responsible, careful, or respectable. But after a certain age, life begins to speak differently. The body becomes more honest. The mornings feel more precious. The people we love become fewer. And the things we once carried with pride can begin to feel heavy in the hands. In Japan, we understand that life has seasons. Spring is not autumn. Morning is not evening. A young tree and an old tree do not need the same care. But many people reach the later years of life, still living by the rules of youth, still rushing, still proving, still worrying, still waiting for someday. So today, I want to share 9 things that stop making sense after 70. Not because life is over. No. Because life has become too valuable to spend on the wrong weight. Listen gently and see which one your heart recognizes. The first thing that stops making sense after 70 is chasing money you will never live to use. Please understand me clearly. Money matters. A person needs safety, food, shelter, medicine, warmth, and dignity. There is no peace in real desperation. But there is also a kind of fear that remains even after the danger has passed. Some people work hard all their lives. They save, they sacrifice. They deny themselves small pleasures again and again. Then, when they are older, they still cannot enjoy anything. They do not take the trip. They do not buy the better fruit. They do not visit the person who lives far away. They still say, maybe later. But later becomes smaller after 70. At some point, you must ask yourself, gently, what is this money for? There is wisdom in being careful, but there is also wisdom in enjoying the life you worked so hard to protect. Buy the good fish once in a while. Take the train to see someone you miss. Sit in a small cafe and order what you actually want. You do not need to become careless, but you are allowed to taste the sweetness of your own life. The second thing that stops making sense after 70 is worrying so much about what other people think. For many years, we live inside invisible eyes, the eyes of neighbors, the eyes of relatives, the eyes of people from work, the eyes of strangers. We ask ourselves, what will they say? What will they think of my house, my clothes, my children, my choices, my mistakes? When we are young, reputation feels very important. We learn to adjust ourselves so we are accepted. But after 70, this becomes a very expensive habit, because the price is your peace. Most people are not thinking about you as much as you imagine. They are busy with their own worries, their own pain, their own dinner, their own body, their own past. And many of the people you tried so hard to impress are no longer even part of your daily life. So why keep living in a prison where the guards have already gone home? Wear the comfortable shoes. Let your home look lived in. Say no when your body says no. Let your face look like a face that has survived many years. You do not need to perform youth. You do not need to impress people who do not sit with you when you are lonely. There is freedom in old age, But many people never open the door. The door is simple. Let them think what they think, and return to your own life. The third thing that stops making sense after 70 is carrying old anger. A grudge can feel like justice. Someone hurt you. Someone betrayed you. Someone never apologized. And for many years, you may keep the memory close, almost like proof that what happened mattered. But anger is heavy, and often the person who hurt you is not carrying it the same way. They may have forgotten. They may have changed. They may have died. They may never understand. And still, you are the one waking up with the stone in your chest. In a Japanese garden, stones are placed carefully. In the right place, a stone can create beauty. But a stone carried forever in the hands only creates pain. Forgiveness does not mean saying what happened was acceptable. It does not mean inviting harmful people back into your life. It does not mean pretending the wound was small. Sometimes forgiveness simply means, I will not spend the rest of my days holding this poison. You put the stone down, not for them, for your own hands, for your own breathing, for the quiet mornings you still have left. The fourth thing that stops making sense after 70 is saving everything good for a special occasion. The good plates, the nice clothes, the comfortable room, the better tea, the soft blanket, the small bottle kept unopened. Many people save their best things for later, but after 70, later must be treated with respect. Later is not endless. This does not mean every day must be dramatic. No, the beauty of later life is often very simple. A quiet breakfast, a clean shirt, a warm bath, a bowl you enjoy holding, a room with sunlight. In Japan, the tea ceremony teaches us that ordinary moments are not small. This cup, this breath, this guest, this one moment that will never return in exactly the same way. So use the good cup, wear the soft sweater, sit in the room you usually save for visitors. You are the visitor now. You have arrived at your own life. Do not keep your best things waiting until there is no one left to enjoy them. Before we continue, let me say one small thing. If this kind of quiet lesson is useful to you, you may want to subscribe and sit with me again. On this channel, we speak about aging, health, peace of mind, and the simple Japanese habits that make the later years feel lighter. No shouting, no rushing, just calm wisdom you can use in your own life. So if you would like more conversations like this, subscribe now and come back whenever you need a quiet place to think. All right, let us continue. The fifth thing that stops making sense after 70 is rushing. Before we continue, let me say one small thing. If this kind of quiet lesson is useful to you, subscribe and come sit with me again. On this channel, we speak about aging, peace of mind, health, and the simple Japanese habits that make the later years feel lighter. So subscribe now, and whenever you need a quiet place to think, I will be here. All right, let us continue. This one is very common. A person retires, the children are grown, the biggest responsibilities have changed, and still they hurry. They eat too fast. They walk too fast. They drink coffee like they are late for a train. They move through the day with the nervous energy of a younger person who had no choice. I understand this. For many years, maybe you had to hurry. Work began early. Children needed help. Bills had to be paid. There was always something waiting. But now, ask yourself honestly, what am I rushing toward? There is a sadness in rushing through the very years when you finally have permission to slow down. After 70, slowness is not laziness. Slowness is respect. Respect for the body, respect for the morning, respect for the meal, respect for the person sitting across from you. In Japan, you may see an older person walking slowly through a garden, stopping to look at one leaf, one stone, one small change in the light. They are not doing nothing. They are noticing. And noticing is one of the great gifts of age. Drink the tea while it is still warm. Chew slowly. Look at the sky before checking the clock. You are not behind. You are here. And here is enough. The sixth thing that stops making sense after 70 is trying to fix everyone's life, especially your grown children. When children are young, they need your hands. You teach them, correct them, protect them, guide them. For many years, this is love. But one day, without asking your permission, they become adults. They make choices you would not make. They spend money differently. They raise children differently. They move, struggle, succeed, fail, begin again. And it can be very hard for a parent to stop steering. But after 70, your role changes. You are no longer the captain of their boat. You are the harbor. A harbor does not chase the boat across the sea. It keeps a light on. It stays steady. It offers shelter when the storm becomes too strong. Many grown children do not need more advice. They need a place where they are not judged before they even sit down. This does not mean you never speak. Sometimes your experience is valuable, but advice given too often becomes noise. Love given quietly becomes safety. If you want your children to come closer, sometimes you must stop pulling. Let them live. Let them learn. Let them return when they are ready. And when they do not begin with correction. Begin with tea. The seventh thing that stops making sense after 70 is fearing death so much that you forget to live. This is not easy to speak about, but we must speak about it gently. When we are young, death feels far away. It belongs to other people. Then the years pass. Friends disappear from the phone book. Parents are gone. The body sends warnings. A pain in the night feels larger than it once did. And slowly, death is no longer an idea. It becomes a shadow in the room. It is natural to feel fear. Only a foolish person would pretend otherwise. But after 70, if fear becomes the center of life, it steals the very thing it claims to protect. A person can become so busy worrying about the end that they stop tasting the present. They stop going outside. They stop making plans. They stop laughing fully. They stop buying green bananas, as some people joke. But life is still life, even near the end. The cherry blossom is beautiful, partly because it does not last long. In Japan, we call this feeling mono no aware, the gentle sadness of things passing. But this sadness is not meant to crush us. It is meant to wake us up. Because the blossom will fall, we look at it more carefully. Because the day will end, we enjoy the light. Because life is not forever, this morning matters. So do not give all your remaining days to fear. Let death come when it comes. Today, make rice. Call someone. Step outside. Feel the sun on your face. You are still here. That is not a small thing. The eighth thing that stops making sense after 70 is staying loyal to people who left your heart a long time ago. There are people you keep calling who never call first. People you keep visiting who do not ask how you are. People you keep making space for, even though they stopped making space for you years ago. When we are young, we try hard to keep connections alive. We forgive distance. We tell ourselves people are busy, and yes, sometimes people are busy. But after 70, time becomes too precious to spend begging for a place in someone else's life. This is not bitterness. This is clarity. There are people who love you quietly but truly. There are people who answer. There are people who sit with you. They may not be many, but they are real. Give your energy to them. A gardener does not keep watering a dead branch forever. He tends the living roots. You can let people go without hatred. You can stop chasing without closing your heart. You can wish them well from far away and still choose not to spend your Sundays waiting for a call that never comes. After 70, peace often comes from knowing who is truly beside you, not who once was, not who should be, who is. The ninth thing that stops making sense after 70 is waiting for someday. Someday I will visit that place. Someday I will write the letter. Someday I will apologize. Someday I will forgive. Someday I will clean the old photographs. Someday I will call my brother. Someday I will tell my daughter. When we are young, someday feels like a large field. There is room to wander. There is time to delay. But after 70, someday becomes a narrow path. Not frightening, just honest. There may still be many good days ahead. There may still be laughter, travel, meals, friendship, learning, and love. But there is no longer time to keep postponing the things that are quietly asking for your attention. The call you keep delaying does not need to be perfect. Make it anyway. The place you want to see does not need the perfect season. Go while your legs can carry you. The words you need to say may tremble. Say them with trembling. Waiting feels safe because it protects us from disappointment, but it also protects us from life. And after 70, life should not be kept outside the door. Open it, even a little. So these are the 9 things. Chasing money you will never use. Worrying about what others think. Carrying old anger. Saving your best things for a special occasion. Rushing through days that deserve to be felt. Trying to control your grown children. Fearing death so much that life becomes small. Staying loyal to people who no longer show up. And waiting for someday. All 9 have one thing in common. They belong to an earlier season. They may have made sense when you were building, proving, protecting, climbing, surviving. But the evening of life has different rules, softer rules, wiser rules. You do not need to carry everything to the end. In autumn, the tree does not apologize for letting go of its leaves. It does not say, "Maybe I should hold on a little longer." It releases what it no longer needs, and because of that, it survives the winter. Maybe this week, do not try to change your whole life. Just choose one thing, one worry, one grudge, one person you can stop chasing, one small joy you can stop saving for later. Put that one thing down. Then notice how your shoulders feel. Notice how the morning feels. Notice how much more space there is inside you. And if one of these 9 spoke to you, write the number in the comments. Just the number is enough, 1 through 9. And if you already learned to let one of these go, share it. Someone else may read your words and feel less alone. For today, remember this: you do not need to prove so much now. You do not need to hurry so much now. You do not need to wait for a perfect day. You are already inside one of the days you once hoped to reach. So use the good cup. Make the call. Take the slow walk. Let the old stone fall from your hands. The evening light is still beautiful, and you are still here to see it. I will see you in the next video.